Hey yo, happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me just move this. I'll put it here for now. Yeah. Um yeah, man, it's been a crazy week. Been a lot more just getting some more work done. And I'm gonna go skiing tomorrow. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Haven't gone to the mountains for like I don't know 4 years now. So really looking forward to it. But for today, I thought I was gonna play some Argus. I know that Argus is rotating. Argus has been like a good deck of mine that I've played for a while and that I've enjoyed. And I was reminded today that it was rotating. Um, so yeah, I don't have like too many ideas in terms of like how I want to build the Argus. So I thought I'd just like go at it from scratch and see where we get to. The one thing that I did kind of think of was that I wanted to play my agenda suite from Canadian Nationals, which is the one without GFI. So you play two hostiles, three armed intimidations, three atlases, and and Oak Towns. Now we could do Oak Towns. We could also play like sandboxes instead of armed intimidation, or instead of Oaktown. Although you probably want to keep the Oaktown. So yeah, I think we are going to play the sandboxes. Yeah, as I said, don't have too much in terms of planning for this deck. I know that like Data Raven's gone now, so we'll have to decide like what we want to do with our influence. But let's just like fill in the list with pretty like staples. So we'll put the hedge fund, the audacity. I like playing 3 copies of high profile target, just because a lot of times people clear down to 1 tag. All the tempo positive agendas. Yeah, I think this is like that's true. Hey, because armed intimidation is not even a tempo positive agenda. Hello, Daojin. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. News team. We could do news team. Hmm. Is news team's 2 influence? Yeah. Okay, here. How about okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna fill in the rest of the deck, and then we'll see what we're looking at. But yeah, like the tempo positive agendas means that we can just like keep jamming. Um, yeah, I think like yeah. Okay. So let's play Hard Hitting News. Let's play Consulting Visit. Oh, what? Consult. There we go. This is usually a one of, I think. Econ Warfare. It's pretty standard. Rashida. You can put like NGOs if you want. We'll put in the 1 for now. I'm thinking this will probably go to 2. Isis Argus. No, we're gonna put Ice in. Don't worry. Ice is where we're going next. So there's usually 1 Afshar. We're gonna put the Mausolus in, which is okay. Let's put the Hordem in. The Mausolus is definitely a 3 of. I like Veritas, although I think it might not be strong enough in terms of like what we're trying to do. You could play Surveyors as well, but like I don't know how much you want to stack ice, and then Surveyors like weak to Boomerang. Honestly, Veritas isn't bad. I've always liked Veritas. There's Winchester as well. Okay, let's just take 1 of all the ice that we might play. I don't like Archer, so I'm not gonna put in Archer. Veritas and Mausolus are good with Argus, so it's Authenticator. Yeah, for sure. Authenticator. I think Authenticator's 1 influence. Could do that. Like it's usually pretty hard to argue against IP block. I think is what usually happens. But we'll keep that in mind. Also, if we're doing news team, like we're probably not gonna have influence for any ice. Like one thing I'm keeping in mind is whether we want to play Funhouse or we want to play what's the upgrade? A maze. I think a maze is pretty good. Although honestly, like I kind of like the idea of news team. I think news team would be pretty annoying, and it kind of just like pays off without you having to do anything, right? So that's always nice. Border control. Oh yeah, like Funhouse is what makes border control that much better, right? I think you still play border control, which makes Funhouse a lot better. So yeah, yeah, we'll see. Because sometimes, like, if you score an agenda but you lose your border control, then you can't score the next agenda, and that just makes things awkward. I think I want to play Spin Doctors, so we're gonna put that in here at some point. Man, I think that's it for ice, hey? Ooh, Sandstone? Do we play Sandstone? Instead of border control, maybe? Or in addition to? Sandstone seems good. If we're playing, like we can put in one CVS in here. We can, like we've got the 3 sandboxes. I'd say we're putting in 2 sandstones. You just got to be careful with sandstone. Like you can't put it on the outside of a central because they can like bounce off it for turning wheels and lower its strength, which is pretty bad. Sometimes you'll see like a one of Sapper, but I think I like the Veritas. So we go Veritas, Sandstone, Border Control. What are we at? 9, 14? 14 is a good amount. 13, 14 is usually where you want to be. 43 cards. Okay. Okay, so we got away without playing Funhouse. Let's see if we want to put... Okay, we forgot Price X. So that's a 3 of. And then we forgot Spin Doctors, and now we're out of deck space. So we got 6 influence left, which can be... Palisade is just as good as Sandstone, in my opinion. Because it goes on a remote. Like, you wouldn't put Sandstone on a central anyways. And then it costs 3, whereas Sandstone costs 4 for a paperclip. And then it costs 3 the next time, and then 2 the turn after that. Yeah, it's probably like, it's a lot more swingy depending on if you score a sandbox or not, and also if you have a CVS. Although I don't know if we'll have room for a CVS at this rate. Maybe we'll just put in Funhouses to make it like for deck slot purposes, you know? Like we just cut the Hordem for Funhouse, and we can play like 1 copy of... that doesn't feel right. Because what are we thinking? We're thinking like News Team or a Maze. I think News Team is probably like easier to use. Although a lot of people run early against Argus anyways. So if they have to like take tags and then clear tags. But if they do that, it's fine. A maze probably helps us win the game a lot better. Same goes with Funhouse. NGO. I like the agendas because this like we used to have to play like 2 copies of IPO and 1 too big to fail, right? But now like if we can just score some sandboxes, maybe that can help us out. Force Connection. Yeah. Force Connection. Yeah, that's a trace for a tag. I don't think that's amazing. 2 tags on a trace 3. Yeah. Yeah, man, like cuts got to be made somewhere. Honestly, like maybe we just cut the 1 consulting visit and we just play econ hard hitting, high profile, and we don't need this. I think it's fine because you used to like sometimes you would consult for too big to fail. Maybe we should still have the too big to fail in here, but let's see what happens if we cut it. So if we cut it, and then we play like 2 Hordems for 2 Funhouse. And then we have 1 more 2 influence card. We can play like 1 copy of Amaze Amusements. And then we would cut 1 card. I want to keep the NGO. So it like might be that copy of High Profile, Prisec MBT, Econ War. Yeah, I mean Econ Warfare is in here. Prisec for sure. MVT. MVT is good too. Like it all becomes like a deck slot issue, right? Also keep in mind like we're spending an extra deck slot on agendas right now. Because if we play the 3 GFIs instead of one of the sets of 2-pointers and we play an extra hostile, we would be at 10 agendas, I want to say. Actually, that might not even be true. Hang on, I'm just doing this for fun. Yeah. Yeah, so this would be like the other agenda suite. But then we don't get our virus synergy, and also like GFI is a lot more tempo negative, so we're not going to do that. Oh, 16 influence. Wait, what? Oh, Amaze is 3 influence. That's unfortunate. Okay, I mean I guess that's easy. We can just cut 1 Spin Doctor for it, and we just play 1 Amaze and 2 Funhouse. And then I don't have to cut the NGO. Let's try this. Yeah. I think this is where we're going. Let's call this tempo positive Argus. Although Funhouse is not a tempo positive card, it's like very much tempo negative. So but you know, hopefully the agendas can carry us through. Okay, let's try this. This looks fun. Argus is like I've played Argus a lot. I mean, I stopped playing it after Data Raven it went away because like Funhouse is just a lot worse, and it kind of screws up your subtype situation, because when the Tag Ice was a sentry, you had a much better spread of barrier code gates and sentries, but now like your main threat is Mausol's Funhouse, and they're both code gates. You like sometimes it's not a problem, but other times, like just in the deck building phase, that can become difficult to deal with. Okay. Let's load in Consulting. Yeah, no, I had the 1 copy of Consulting, but I think we can get away with cutting it just because like I do want the 1 copy of Consulting. But like we just had to find the deck slot somewhere, right? Yeah, I think you definitely love that 1 copy of Consulting. Like you could even argue that it's better than the 3rd news. Because it lets you consult for high profile, and as I said, like a lot of people will float 1 tag against Argus when they're making these like decisions, or like even 2 tags, and in those cases you can get them. All right. Oh, what am I doing? I need to turn on this. There we go. Oh, I need to make it bigger as well. There you go. Yeah, as I said, like I've played a lot of Argus in the past. Like in the lead up to Canadian Nationals, I basically played Argus that whole summer, like online, in person. Yeah, I think I was like contemplating an egg infusion deck for that same tournament. And I ended up taking the Argus just because of like comfortability. But yeah, like I used to. I don't know about now. Like, well, I guess we'll find out. But I used to like just, you sit there and play Argus, and I wouldn't really think about anything. and you start your turn, you install your ice, you install your cards, you pass the turn, and it flowed like really, really quickly. Speaking of Canadian Nationals, do you see the Worlds announcement posted earlier today? Yeah, I did. I'm surprised that they had to schedule it for that same weekend, even though they were like asking around if like we should do a different weekend, or if it would be inconvenient for people if it was on Thanksgiving, but they had to do the weekend anyways. I mean, it didn't matter too much to me. Yeah, I'm excited for Worlds. I'm excited for just to like see everybody and like sit next to them and play Netrunner, and like not even like specifically the main event itself, but just hanging out during the weekend sounds like a blast. And also, if we were to do in person, there's going to be like the team events, and the team events sound really fun, and that's something that I've only been able to watch on the sidelines. And I think maybe it's just me, but I felt like in past Worlds there wasn't too much like coverage of team events. Like, it was, as a spectator who wasn't there, it was like pretty hard to follow. So I look forward in participating in that, and kind of understanding what that's like, because I know that in a team event you have to all play a different faction, and I don't know how like matchups are decided. Like, you all play a different faction, but like who decides which player you play on the other team, and like how that's decided. So that sounds very interesting to go through. And the other thing is, I know that when you're playing in a team event, you're sitting next to your team and you're sitting across from the other team, and you can ask your teammates and like talk to each other during games, which will be like a very interesting dynamic of Netrunner that usually doesn't exist. So that's something that I would very much look forward to trying. Is like, if you're sitting next to your teammate and you're playing your game, and suddenly your teammate comes and is like, hey, like, here's the situation I'm in. Like, what would you do? That sounds really like an entertaining thing to do. Yeah. I think we've gone through this already, but no matter if I go to Vancouver or Toronto, I'll probably go to Worlds either way. It'll obviously be easier if I did it in Toronto, but we'll see. We're against a Sunny. Man, we played against a Sunny last week too, like game 1. This will be interesting. I think Sunny's an interesting match because you want to rush really hard against Sunny, which actually means we should have kept our last hand. Because we had like 1 ice, 2 agendas, and a hedge fund. Yeah, we probably should have kept the last hand. Because once like Sunny gets set up and like you got your link and you can clear tags and you got your citadel down, then you start losing the game, right? So it's why like these fun houses probably need to go on remotes. So we're probably gonna draw first. Making Sandstone look bad because we already have like the border control funhouse, so that's probably what our remote is gonna be. Let's just set up the Amaze in there and just pretend. We should probably ice R&D actually. Yeah, let's ice R&D. Just because that's where the agendas are. Like, if they were to like run R&D and pick agendas off the top, that'd be really bad for us. So we'll just, yeah. Mausolus is good. Oh, no agendas. Yeah, like this would be great if we can just start scoring some of those tempo positive agendas. But, we're not finding them. Yeah, maybe I should have kept that first hand. 2 agendas and ice. I think it was a border control. It can be a problem though if they find a way through the border control. That can be a problem. Showing them the sandstone seems like a liability. Yeah, gotta let them through. Don't steal. Of course. Although Atlas is fine. We can lose an Atlas right now. The thing is, and like I miss this about Argus, is that when you steal, like, you have to deal with taking a tag or 2 meat. So a lot of the times you can let them steal. And when you're running against Argus, you really should think twice before running. Like, even if it's an open server, right? Like, it's a very real consideration. Like, do I want to steal an agenda right now? It's good to know that they're willing to pressure my remote here, because right now what they've done is they've brought me down to 2 credits, so I can't score if this was a 3 advancement requirement agenda. So we might like click for 2 and ice archives. Maybe ice HQ. It's not great. Because they, like, what they're threatening is they can, like, find a way to get through the border control and then trash our MAs, which is actually fine for them. We can just play the Econ Warfare, actually. Just get a card out of our hand. I don't want to commit any ice placement just yet. There's value to icing archives, but... yeah, no agendas to jam. That's kind of sad. Kind of sad. Maybe I should have just kept that opening hand. Okay, they're guessing agenda. They're going to see the amaze. I'll let them, if they want to falsify it again, I'll let them. Nice. Very nice. Okay, I think we just, like, install double advance this. I probably should have done that quicker. Because if you install and then you think about it before you double advance, then it might not be an NGO. But if you slam it double advance, like, it looks more like an NGO that way. Offswise, Sports Operator, Zeki, credit, discard, turning wheel. Okay. They're going to try to contest my remote here, looks like. We'll get a good purge here. I probably want to put a Mausolus on R&D. Although if I do that, then I can't res it, which is kind of bad. Let's just stack a price hike in the remote. This is like rule number 1 of playing Argus, is you want to install a card in your remote every turn. Ideally, you have a better remote. Like, border control's a pretty weak remote right now, but I just don't have the money. But ideally, you get, like, a Funhouse res on your remote, and then you can just throw a card in your remote every turn. And that's really all you do. And then sometimes things will go through, sometimes things don't, and, like, they're going to spend a bunch of resources getting through. But, you know, Sunny has the ability to kind of build up a little bit too much. So we'll have to keep the Sunny in check somehow. Maybe we'll hit, like, a hidden office supplies or something here. Shrike. Okay. So we can't break Veritas anymore. That's not even that bad. For them, that's not even that bad. Oh, and the hedge went off the top 2, of course. Oh, I should not click for a credit. I should purge virus counters. And then we'll just throw out... all these cards are good. I'm probably not going to land the news, honestly. Because they're going to drip for 2 credits here. They're going to go to 3. They're definitely not going to make a run. I mean, like, they might run R&D, but then they have to, like, spend their own money. Because I'm not going to news them, even if they have 3 credits and 3 link. So we'll just ditch the news for now. We got 2 other copies. I don't want to ditch any of our other ice, because if we put, like a Mausolus on R&D, Afshar on HQ, and then, like, double Funhouse the remote, that's pretty strong. They can get an access here. It's fine. Doesn't Sports Hopper follow your main plan? Yeah, it totally does. I mean, they can, like, usually if you can get them tagged, you can trash their data foldings and stuff, and that kind of does a lot of damage to them. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. But definitely, Sports Hopper makes it a lot harder to kill the Sunny. So again, like we just have to rush harder and make it so that they can't break our stuff, right? Okay, let's hedge fund. Let's put the funhouse on the remote. And let's put the Afshar on R&D. Yeah, as I said, like you usually want to jam a card every turn, but I don't know. Like I think we can take a turn here. Because if we put the CVS in the remote, like they might just read that it's CVS. Whereas if we wait a turn, then there's a higher chance that it's not a CVS, right? Especially if we find something. However, this is a hostile, so we'll just go ahead and score that. Oh, we're not gonna put it in the remote. We gotta put it in a new remote. You don't want to tell them that the Prisec is an upgrade. We're doing decent. We're doing decent. Like this is a okay. So they got their Nexus down, so they're gonna start like dripping and pressuring now. That's a good draw. Because now we can like put a Prisec in the remote, put another Funhouse in the remote, and then take a credit. And that's a decent turn for us. Because they have to like break through double Funhouse, so they're gonna Nexus one of them. And then they have to deal with the other ones. So they probably have to take a tag and pay 4. And then they still have to break the border control. And then when they get in here, they have to deal with 2 Pricex and the Amaze if I have an agenda in there. Turtle coming down. So this CVS is going to be pretty good. Although they're going to white hat it. Fine. Instead of taking a credit, I should have installed the CVS, hey? I should have just installed it in the remote. Because now I have to like draw the CVS again, which is not ideal. Now their turtle can break the border control, which is not ideal. Oh, that's dirty. That's so dirty. Okay. Let's draw again. Okay, so I guess we're going to put the agenda in the remote then. 5, 10... So you always have to do the math. Can I res and fire my Prisec and the Amaze? And the answer is yes. I have 15, which is all the money. Which means we'd have to give up accesses on R&D. Which I think is fine. Yeah. We're going to throw it in there. Because we do threaten game with Audacity Atlas if we score this right now and go to 5. They are going to run R&D. So what probably happens here is we res the Mausolus, and then they Nexus through, and then they don't run the remote anymore. So we can afford to res this, because we don't have to pay 15 anymore. So they'll bypass. Let's see if they continue. They do. Do we want to stop them? If we score, we go to 8, which is not a ton. You always want to be able to trigger your Pricex, regardless of if there's a card in here. Because a good runner will come and trash your Pricex if you don't have enough money to trigger them. So we're not going to res this. I think the Mausolus is annoying enough. Oh, they're gonna white hat again. That's really good for them, because they're gonna shuffle the CVS away again. That's disappointing. The CVS is really good. Spin Doctor in hand. Good to have. We can like put the Spin Doctor in the remote and then try to burst draw. That's CVS. We're gonna need that to come back again. Yeah, so they're clearing my remote here, which is a smart play. I can't res any of this, because if I res it, I can't trigger my Pricex. So we're not gonna res any of it. just because triggering the price X I think is more important. Because if we spend 5, they're just gonna spend 1 and Nexus it, right? So like it's only good if we can res both, which we can't. So that's fine. We'll just trigger 2 price X. Sports Harper down. Decent hit. Dirty Laundry down. Also a fine hit. Now they're going to end their turn on a tag. I'm going to draw a high-profile target. So I could force them to use the Sports Hopper if I want. I'm probably happy just trashing 2 data foldings and taking a credit. Or putting the Spin Doctor in their remote. Trash, install spin. They have to go after this too if they want to respect Rashida. But you could also not, because they're not in a great economic position. But yeah, they're gonna go after it. This is a really good Rashida for us. If it was Rashida. Oh, okay. They're gonna Nexus the border control because it saves them $1. So now they can trash the spin if they want. So we'll go ahead and pop it. Econ, Veritas, fine. We probably just want money at this point. Rashida, hedge fund. Price X are good too. Rashida will probably like come on its own, so because there's still 2 left in the deck. So let's put a price X back and a hedge fund. We could also have put the Amaze back. Maybe the Amaze is better than the price deck. Although I'll probably only like install 1 card a turn. So that's a good draw. What do we do here? The problem is if we purge, they're going to run archives once. So it'll get them their turtle counter. But we do want to purge just for money. We also want to install Rashida, install Veritas on archives. So I guess we just have to purge now and hope they don't run archives. And if they do, we might just spend another turn purging. Yeah. Or like we'll install, and then they'll probably trash the Rashida and purge. We'll see what happens. But they do pick up their turtle counter, which is expected. We are going to have to block this off. And I think we have to do that now. So we can just Ice Archives credit. They're going to get their drip back eventually. Because they're going to find like another data folding and like another Rozeki or 2. So we do want to protect this Rashida though. So let's draw once actually. Okay, that's fine. Draw once might have been wrong. Because now if we purge next turn, we have to discard a card. Yeah, draw once is probably wrong. Let's make them Nexus this. It doesn't cost them anything, but it makes them use their Nexus. So that means they can't run HQ or R&D. White Hat actually we're fine with. They should shuffle the Rashida back. Because that's the best card in our hand right now. That is the 3rd White Hat too. So that's really good. Because now we can potentially Atlas Audacity. Or at least start putting together those 2 cards. They shuffle Rashida Veritas. So they're scared of the ice. That's good to know. Hedge fund's a fine draw. Let's just purge away. Next turn we can hedge fund, maybe install advance. Probably not, but maybe. They're gonna come into HQ fishing for the sandbox. Get a 1 and 4. They missed. They missed, but they get a turtle counter. So either's fine for them, really. In some ways, missing is better for them because that turtle counter means they can run the remote. I think I'm okay purging for another turn. Because if we keep the sandbox another turn, then we can install Advanced Hedge Fund and we can res both the fun houses. Because if we purge, we go to 9. We hedge fund, we go to 13. And then we advance once we go to 12. I guess technically double res means we can't afford it. Afford to score afterwards. But that's fine. Yeah, let's purge again. It was a close game. And again, like we were trying to, like we want to try to rush as fast as possible at the early game. I think against most decks you do, but especially against Sunny. So we got a second Sports Hopper down. So now this Nexus is free. Well, I mean, like it was free anyways because they had the bad pub. So didn't really matter. It matters when they run the remote, I guess. If they click for credit, we can Econ Warfare. Let's see if they do that. Oh, they do. Okay. We can Econ Warfare. Oh. We're not doing that. We're drawing a card. We don't want to get Econ Warfared. Okay. DreamNet Turtle's going away. Fine. Okay, I think we just jam here. Just give him something to worry about. So let's install Advance and Hedge Fund. Falsified to guess agenda. Right, so they have falsified. I'm going to do an influence count when I res this. Okay, so 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fire all unbroken subroutines. Okay. Oh, because they don't know what the second ice is. So they're just going to deal with the funhouse now. And then we're probably going to Nexus the second funhouse. They're going to end the turn tagged here, though. We can't double... I mean, like, they have Sports Hopper, so... as Daojin mentioned, we can't kill them, really, as long as they hold on to those Sports Hoppers. But we can at least trash their Turning Wheel, trash their DreamNet. That, like... is a significant amount of drip. Although we can only trash one. But like the Turning Wheel's a good trash. Okay, so let's... Do we actually pop this now? Because we can't actually score next turn unless we top deck Audacity. If we give it to them, that's not great for us either. If we... Yeah, because like what they can do is they could just not run and run next turn, and that's actually worse for us. So we're actually just going to give it to them. Because the best case scenario for us is we pop it and they run back, and then they have to... Like they'll end the turn tagged, and then we can trash their Turning Wheel, which is great, but it doesn't help us win per se. This way we keep the border control, so we can do that again another turn where they have to run back. Whereas like this turn they didn't have to run back unless they were respecting the Audacity. We're still looking for that Audacity. That's probably how we win this game. Because next turn, ideally, we can like hedge fund, put something in the remote. Yeah. This is a free run. But it was always a free run because of bad pub. There's nothing in here though, so they're just gonna get a turning wheel counter. They still can't get into R&D with Mosless Sandstone. Security chip. Okay. This is not good. Let's draw Afshar onto HQ, and then they start running R&D. If we Afshar HQ, they run R&D. If they run R&D, Afshar HQ is not bad. I think we'd rather just like draw. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna like discard a bunch of stuff. So these can go. Yeah, those can just go. Because they're gonna get a free run on HQ. If we ice HQ, they're not. Like, they're still gonna run, but then they're gonna have to like break and spend a bit of money. Which could be a difference maker. I don't know if... Yeah, like money could be the difference, but it could also be speed. It depends, right? If we want to like keep putting things in the remote, then we play the economic game, and that's a game that's probably losing. So we just want to keep drawing. Oaktown's not good. How much does this cost us to install? It costs us $3 to install another ice. If we take a credit and throw out... We want to put the Mausolus on top, probably. So let's just throw the Sandstone out. Although we can probably throw the News out. Also, Hedge Fund gave him 2 credits there. Yeah. They're going to start running R&D. Firing Mausolus. Okay. Sandstone has to get Nexused. I think I'm fine not rezzing it if they're just gonna let the Mausolus fire. They're gonna dig. CVS. That's awesome. And trashing it. Okay. So Archives is safe now. So we actually probably want to take this turn to like set up a board. To make this turtle awkward. Because they're gonna like try to run next turn, right? So we can what do? We like Afshar HQ. They're not gonna want to run Archives because CVS is there. So we can Afshar HQ. Veritas R&D? Veritas isn't even that great because it has to run a trace. So it's just like a 4 credit swing. 3 if you take bad pup into account. Oh. They had to go. Alright. That's alright. Yeah, I think like what happened there? Hunting grounds. Yeah, like we have to find Audacity's like so far down. Yeah, so we just gotta like jam cards. Yeah. Yeah. Game could have gone either way. Like I think this turn we would have went like this on HQ. R&D's probably fine. And then we could install Advance even if we want. If we want to play like really aggressively. They can deal with this once because they can Nexus Hunting Grounds, but then the second time they have to actually like pay through things. So what is happening? There we go. Yeah, we had to find agendas earlier that game. Like we were only at 5, which was decent considering how slow of a start we had. But yeah, I think ideally, like by the time we get to 5, we wanted to have won by then. What else is happening around here? Man, I'm so disappointed. I've missed a lot of random access memories tournaments. I've only been able to play in the one, just because like they've happened to happen on weekends that I just haven't been available. Yeah, so it's been like a drought of tournament play for me these last few months. Hopefully they'll pick up soon though. Man, the king was telling me that I should try his Hoshiko build um that's on Pawn Shop and Cyber Trooper Tolu. I don't think I'll have time for that today, but that's something that I'm keen to look into. Oh, we're against Jesminder, so we like win the game against if we find Funhouse. So we mulligan. That's a good hand. My goodness, we're against Jesminder. I never thought this would happen today. Okay, so this is hedge fund. Let's just put in. I guess we want to play a little bit slower, hey? We're gonna play slowly. No, we're not. No, we're not. What am I talking about? Does the Argus tag count against Jez's ability? Yes, you can use Jez to avoid, or actually, one sec. Hang on. This is during each run. Yes. You, Jez avoids it. Yeah, I was gonna say yes, you can use Jez, but Jez isn't optional. But I don't know if this person has ran into Funhouse yet. But I have 2 copies in the deck. So I have 2 cards in my deck. I have 2 pieces of ice in my deck that says the runner cannot run here. Unless they have hunting grounds or inside job. So let's see. They're gonna steal agenda, void the tag. Pretty good for them. We're gonna like get an Atlas through, which is not bad. So we go install advance, and then we can get an Atlas counter. I don't know what we do with the Atlas counter yet. We might use it to find the second copy of Funhouse after drawing the first. Oh, they're installing daily casts. Oh, okay. They're going to 5 credits. Oh, Funhouse was on top. We'll just give them tags here, I think. We have to spend 5 on this. We could be patient. How patient do we want to be? No, let's give them tags. I didn't have to click for credits. Like, I could have installed something, but I think this is fine. Yeah, like next turn we might end up we might just install the Prisec and not install the Atlas. Like ideally we want to find like another hedge fund. Or like a money agenda maybe. But if they keep jailbreaking us, we're not going to find any agendas at all at this rate. Okay, another news. Oh no. That's not good for them. That's very bad for them. That is very, very bad for them. Yeah. The run was the jailbreak was a little bit aggressive, that second one. Just because it doesn't like the laundry was fine because the laundry gives you money. So going to 5 credits there, although if I had econ hard hitting, that would have been really bad on that second turn. But this turn here, like that second hard hitting's awful. Okay, we're gonna draw. Try to find our kill. Let's put an ice on R&D, take a credit. We could have drawn again. Maybe should have drawn again. But the thing is, like, if we just keep drawing agendas, we're gonna need our money, right? So we might just end up like clicking for 3 here. Or we draw once, put the Prisek in the remote, take a credit. They've slowed down a bunch, but we've slowed down a bunch too. Like, we need to capitalize somehow. An Atlas counter might be enough. Hostel's an excellent draw. Let's get some money. Hostel was an excellent draw there. We'll probably put the funhouse on the remote, just because the funhouse is safe. Let's install double advance this. Do we double advance or single advance? We could single advance ice. No, let's double advance. What we're probably going to do is double advance score and then put the other Atlas in there. Or we could triple advance score, get 2 Atlas counters, and then we just have to sneak the Atlas that we have in hand through, and then we can Audacity the 3rd Atlas and just win that way. We're going to Atlas train the hard way. Might be good enough. We'll see what they do. It's a safer play to just triple advance score and then put the other Atlas in. But we'll see what happens here. They're going to SMC for Rizeki. Okay. How disgusting would it be if we top decked another news? Like, pretty, right? We can score and take a credit. We can score and install Funhouse. Let's just take the second counter. Install Funhouse is decent. Like, now that we have the Oaktown, we can try to score the Oaktown next turn. Or we could just try to score the Atlas. Or we could be a little bit slower and try to Funhouse the remote first. Because Funhouse they can't get through unless they show us Hunting Grounds or something. They have, like, okay money now, right? Diesel credit gamble. Yeah, we might just jam the Oaktown, honestly, because they have to get through Mausolus and then Prisek and the Oaktown's quite a bit. So we're just gonna jam this. And like we can Atlas for a hard hitting. We can double Atlas for Econ hard hitting. Although if we spend an Atlas counter for a tag piece, that can get risky because we're spending resources that they could like misdirect away. So if we try to go for the kill and it doesn't land, then the game gets a lot harder. So we'll have to be careful because they have 2 drip, right? So they could like install the misdirect, take 1 credit, and then and then clear 3 tags. Install the misdirect like Dirty Laundry, and then clear 4 tags. Yeah, so there's ways that they can clear from 0 credits, assuming that we land a perfect like Econ Warfare to 0. Hot Pursuit. Oh yeah, they're Jesminder. Well, this is kind of funny because they have to break the Veritas, right? Well, they can't. So I get my money back. I get 2 of my credits back. They lose 2 credits. They have to pay for the trace. And they do have to pay for the trace because otherwise they take a tag, avoid it, and then they actually have to take a tag from the hot pursuit. So this is a fine res. You could say that in some sense because I'm essentially spending 2 credits for this, right? And I will end up spending 4 on the modules if they run the remote. So the 2 credits that I'm spending here is essentially me foregoing the 2 credits on Prisec. So if they do run the remote, I'm going to res the modules and not trigger the Prisec. But I think these subroutines firing, like they'll lose 2 and they have to pay another 2. So they essentially pay 4 instead of the effective Prisec is worth it. Because the Veritas stays resed as well, right? Oh, they hit the Atlas in HQ. Which is kind of funny because they have to take a tag or take 2 meat. Argus is good. Argus is like very annoying. That's why a lot of the times, like especially like turn 1, when you're just trying to play a Dirty Laundry and the Argus went like install Rashida, install Ice, and they didn't ice their centrals, I will very often just laundry archives because I don't want to access an agenda in the early game. They're gonna Maker's Eye. Do we res Mausolus here? No, right? No. This is during each run. Purge does nothing. Sandbox. This is getting close. I don't like that. Oh, wow. Did they trash the CVS? They did. So the top card of R&D is fresh, because they trashed NGO as well. Would you say Veritas is a strong slot for Wayland sentries, or is this just something that's there because you want a sentry and everything else just sort of blows? Probably the second one. It's not a strong slot for Wayland sentries. Like, you're competing against stuff like... Oh, I'd lose here, hey? I didn't even realize that. Yeah, wow. Okay, sniping out of HQ and the top of R&D means I lose here. Yeah, no, there's nothing I can do. GG. Yeah. The 1 in 5 in HQ. Like, if they go for the remote there, I can try to sneak the Atlas through. That's kind of disappointing. I thought, like, we were doing decent. I forgot that we would just lose. Yeah, it's not a strong slot for Wayland sentries. Like, yeah, as I said, like, you're competing against, like, Drafter in terms of, like, other sentries. Turnpike is a good sentry. F2P is a great sentry. Yeah, Veritas is... It's not good once the runner's set up. Which basically just means it's not good once they have their breakers out. Veritas is good when the runner has to face check it the first time, at least. Because then it's a 4-credit swing, and then you get a free trace, basically. And then they have to pay like 3 credits to break if they already are at strength. I guess it's like fine if you're breaking it. Yeah, I take back what I said about them having a breaker setup. Like it's flimsy because you can just walk through it, but like if the runner has to break it, like if they spend Begalter and they have to spend, like it costs Begalter 4 credits to break a Veritas, and like yeah, they get the 2 credits back, but they only get that once per turn, so you can't exactly say it only costs Begalter 2. MK they have to pay 3, and then one of the subs fires still, so that's pretty awkward. If you have a Sentry Breaker that's already at 2 strength and you have to pay 1 per sub, that's still 3 credits. Yeah. And like it's one of, like if you think about all the ice that tag decks play that that don't end the run, stuff like Funhouse you can walk through and take 2 tags. Turnpike you lose a credit, take a tag. So it's all about like, it's good for the econ and tag situation, but like what happens when the runner goes tag me? What does the ice do then? And like Veritas is still great, because like they lose 2 credits, you gain 2 credits is a great effect when the runners tag me. Against Crim, 2 border controls is probably a throwaway because we want like an Afshar, a Mausolus, even a Funhouse on HQ. We don't want 2 agendas early against, oh boy. We don't want 2 agendas early against Crim because we want to turtle up a bit more, but no. Uh-oh. What do we do? We could play the bet that they don't have Boomerang, and we could like install Oaktown installs. Oh, this is Veritas. I thought this was Sandstone. Never mind, we can't do that. Okay, we're gonna install HQ, take 2 credits, and be cool. Rith is right. They're gonna Boomerang it. They're gonna Bravado it. See, this is a fine rise. Like, it's got 3 subs, so they have to... Oh, I guess they break 2 subs, and then they can't lose any money. Yeah. But, like, I'll get this rezzed. It's fine. Veritas is approximately equivalent to Turnpike in a tagging strategy. And outside of tags, then it's bad. Oh, outside of tags, yeah, it's definitely bad. Because when you're in a tag strategy, like, it's about money, and it also has the direct trace 2 for a tag, so that's good as well. It's like, you can call it an equivalent to Turnpike. It's worse because the ice itself before tag me is worse. Veritas is better when the runners decided to go tag me, but Veritas will make the runner decide to go tag me more so than Veritas. Or sorry, Turnpike will make the runner decide to go tag me more so than Veritas will. And we just drew a 5th agenda. But like a 4-2 compared to a 2-3 on a Turnpike, like Turnpike's better just numbers wise. They lose a credit and there's 1 sub and it's 3 strength. So it's about the same. Like Turnpike and Veritas, once it's rezzed, is about the same if the runner's not trying to keep tags, you know? Hard hitting? Spin Doctor? I'll take it. I'll take a Spin Doctor. That's a Sandstone. What do we do about a Sandstone? Sandstone's for the remote, right? So we can like ditch 2 agendas here and take a credit. Let's keep a Sandbox and keep an Oaktown. 1 of each. Yeah. Next turn we have to... Like, I would love to keep the Sandboxes, but I think we need the Oaktown. And we're probably going to get, like, Boomeranged. But I think that's a risk you'd take. So... Like, I think this turn here, we install the Oaktown, install the Sandstone, advance. Oh. Could do border control. Could do border control. Let's do the border control. The beautiful thing about Oaktown is that you can score it from 1 credit. They need the boomerang here. They have it. They have it. They're bravadoing it too. We can pop this, and then they run back last click, which doesn't do anything for them. Okay. You got it. Draw a card, clear the tag. Fine. Rashida's a good draw. Let's get that in the remote. Let's get a sandstone over top. Let's take a credit. This is fine. This is fine. Career Fair Earthrise. That's so good for them. That's exactly what they wanted there. Get a Zahya trigger. See the top card. Check archives. And they're going to run back. This is just wrong. Because if they steal an agenda here, we trash the Earthrise. Actually, they died a high profile. Okay, they're dead. GG. Yeah, no, that was a bad run. They should not have ran R&D there. Because they had 1 card in hand. They had to take the tag. And then even if we didn't have high profile in hand, we'd trash your Earthrise, and that's not worth it. Yeah. Oh man, that game was going pretty bad for us. Although we get the Rashida, so what we would have drawn these 4 cards: Sandbox, Hedge Fund, Hard Hitting, Mausolus. So let's say they don't steal an agenda and they hit like the Hedge Fund. From 10 credits, we could have like Hedge Fund, Econ, Hard Hitting, which I think we don't need to do at that point. We can like milk it a little bit more. So we would probably like Hedge Fund. We would go to 10, install Sandbox, advanced Sandbox. We would be in a decent spot. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. Probably gonna jam this, give this another go. And then, yeah, I'm gonna, for those who missed it at the start, I was saying that I'm going snowboarding tomorrow, going to Jasper, and I have to leave at like 5 a.m. Well, we're going as part of like this magic bus tour company, who they have like bus and wait, snowboarding or skiing? I snowboard. I snowboard. My girlfriend snowboards, and that's how we met. But yeah, we are going as part of this like magic bus tour company who they like drive you out in this like bus, and then they drive you back, and you can get like lift tickets with them, and also they have like a deal with like lift tickets and also hotel. So that was pretty nice. But yeah, they leave at 5:30 a.m. and we need to be there. Like they start boarding and like, getting the stuff on the bus at 5 a.m. So I have to leave my house at like 4:15 a.m. to drive all the way to the north side to get onto this bus that early in the morning. Snowboarding in Jasper is amazing. Yeah, it's good. Never been skiing in Jasper. It's awesome there. Yeah, I mean, I like Marmot quite a lot. Marmot Basin is their main mountain. There's like a lot of other places around the Rockies as well, but I think of all the ones, I think Marmot is my favorite. In the Rockies, in junior high, we went to Panorama with the school. That's really nice. I like Panorama quite a bit. I've only been like 2 or 3 times to Panorama. I think twice, I want to say. And it's like further away for me. But yeah, I like Panorama. Panorama's a standout. Marmot is generally the least busy of the big resorts. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. I remember. So the road going into Marmot is like you have to drive down up this like really windy road, and it's like a really long stretch of road that only goes to Marmot. And I remember like the first time when my family and I were trying to go there, we were going up the road and like we were driving for so long that we started wondering like, is this the right road? Are we just like driving into BC or like where are we going? Um, but yeah, it's a very long road to get up there. Never hit the slopes there before. I think I've been to Banff. Banff is nice. Banff has a nicer town. This high profile is a dead card. Is this a good hand? If we mulligan, we're gonna get like 4 agendas again, right? We can play this. We should mulligan. Okay, that's a good hand. Yeah, Banff has a nicer town. So like you can there's like that bridge there, there's like a river. You can walk around and kind of explore the town a lot more in Banff. Whereas in Jasper, it's not as nice of a town, so you end up having to you have to like find things to do. I think I want to say in Jasper, whereas in Banff, like you might just like go and like walk by like go for a walk by the river or like go like explore the bridge and it's a much nicer area. My stepdad's been to Panorama before. I said it was great there. Yeah, it's from what I could remember, it's big. But I was pretty young, so when you're smaller, everything's big. Ooh, sandbox is good. Let's score the sandbox. Yeah, I enjoyed Panorama quite a bit, but as I said, like it's a far drive for me. I think Panorama is like a 5-6 hour thing for me because I think what I have to do is I have to drive 3 hours to Calgary and then 3 hours west to Panorama. Um, Click for 3, install Chatbot. We're gonna get our thing. Good stuff. Decent start. I never know what the viewer count thing is when I'm asked because uh, yeah, I never know what the answer to that is because when I'm like, I think it says 7, but if I look on like my chat, there's like a users in chat kind of list, and there we have definitely more than 7. So I don't know how that works. Running R&D. What did they chop botted? Wait, what? Oh, there's a chop bot face down. Okay. Gamble, DreamNet, run R&D, see nothing, install Hunting Grounds. Oh, discard Hunting Grounds. Hunting Grounds is pretty good. We just jam out this Atlas, right? Pretty sure. Let's get the ice on R&D. let's protect it. We're gonna need another agenda to come through soon. Second sandbox would be nice. Wasteland, boomerang. Okay. So we're going for the border control. Okay. So we can probably kill them this turn or next turn because of this run. So if we pop the border control, they have to run back last click. That costs us quite a bit of money though. So if they just come in, they have to take a tag off the Prisec and a tag or two meat off the Atlas. And then either way, we're going to have to do one of these things. So we're not going to res. Yeah, we just give this to them. I'm pretty sure we can kill them here. So they cleared... Oh, they're trashing the Prisec too. That's not right. Yeah, that's a difficult decision they had to make. But trashing the Prisec, I don't think is the right play. We can draw once. We can take a credit, and we can play the news. The reason I drew once, because we only need 4 credits. And the reason we need 4 is so we can res Mausolus if they run. And then we can like credit high profile or single credit high profile. They're gonna chop bot the boomerang. Love to see that. Oh, because they can clear a tag with the chop bot. They're gonna clear 1 tag here. Are they? Then they live. Oh. I guess they live with that as well, but we can rip open their board, which I'm fine with. They have to take 6 damage. So that's 1, 2, 3 off their hand, and then 3 cards off the board. We could trash a resource if we want. They actually gain money. We could trash DreamNet. Let's start with high profile. Let's see what happens. So far, could we say that Amaze is good? No. No, I don't think we can make that conclusion. It's good when it works, but you can... Prisec is a lot easier to use because you can... The way that you play Argus is you put a card in your remote every turn, right? And if you're doing that and you're putting Amaze and they check it and they trash Amaze, you'd rather the card be Prisec. So I don't think I would ever play Amaze without first playing 3 copies of Prisec. Amakua, Justin Matrix, and DreamNet. So they don't have DreamNet anymore. That's good. We're just going to click for credits here, just so we can res Mausolus. Just checking, you can assimilate and unshackle a boomerang just like Cyber Cypher, right? Like if it were to get flipped face down after you installed it? How would that work? Install, advance, take a credit. Do we want to be super greedy? We don't have to be super greedy. Oh, okay. Right, okay. Yeah. By unshackle, I thought you were like flipping it face down and then flipping it face up again. I don't think you can. Oh, wait. No, yes. Like it doesn't target anything, which means you can use it on any ice. That's correct. Yeah, because the use this hardware only during encounters with that ice is not in effect because you didn't install it. So yes. Install, advance, Mausolus I think is fine. Do we funhouse? Okay, we'll funhouse. Although this is just for show. But yeah. If you face down a boomerang and then assimilator it, you can use it to break anything. Okay, so now we purge for 8, and we're doing great. Next turn we can jam the Oaktown. We could even put the border control over top if we really wanted. Just so that we have double border control, although it's probably not necessary. We could take a turn to purge. We could take a turn to Rashida, honestly. No, this is just better. We're just gonna keep jamming. Double advance Oaktown. Next turn we'll double advance score, put the Rashida in. And then the turn after that we'll score on hostile. So Chopbot face down Harbinger, install Boomerang, install Endless Hunger, run the remote. Okay, so we can break the border control with Endless Hunger. But we have to take a tag off the Funhouse. We gain 2 credits off the border control. They have to trash a card to break it, and then we kick them out, and then they have to come back to deal with the Funhouse again. It's pretty good for us, although we don't have another high profile. This is why we play 3. For those who don't know, back around the time of 2019 Canadian Nationals, oh, this is firing. Why is this firing? People would like Stargate they would Stargate and try to like trash your high profiles, and that would be their way of kind of like destroying your tag punishment, and that's why you started seeing people play 3 copies of high profile. So that's why people started playing 3 copies of high profile. But like I kind of felt that, you know, there's benefits to just playing 3 copies of high profile even without that, because as I said, like a lot of the times you end up like playing 1 and it's not lethal, or if you had 2 it would have been lethal. So a lot of times people only respect the 1 copy. Okay, so we're gonna Endless Hunger, we're gonna Gimme Money, and we're gonna kick them out. Yeah, this seems good. Then they have to come back, take 2 tags, and then another tag or 2 meet. Their heartbeat's going to keep them alive. Although, if I do find a high profile, they're going to have to rip open their board. Yeah, it's better than death, I guess. Okay. Sandbox. Not yet. This person is not dead yet. Although this isn't End the Run sub again. Although at least I like get $2, right? It's fine. They have to take more tags. Maybe this is actually not good, because they could just run through it here, steal the agenda, and then try to like win off R&D, which is a decent play. It's harder for, like when you're playing NBN, you can kind of like capitalize on tags that much better. Whereas like against as Wayland, you're just trying to kill. So you either win the game or like you're not doing anything with the tags. Oh, I can't score now. That kind of sucks. That's fine. So they boomerang it, and then we pop it after they take another 2 tags. But then we can't score. This is actually a problem, because we purge, but like the Mausolus doesn't end the run. And things that end the run can just get Endless Hungered. So we could just lose to agenda steals, even though they have a bunch of tags. What's hot? What's up, Aaron? We are playing Argus because Argus is going to be gone soon, and that's kind of sad. Although Argus isn't even like it's not that good, so yeah. But it's good nostalgia. Playing some like jam things in remote Argus. We're doing okay. We had a decent record today. I think we've lost one game. Basically to a situation like this where they kind of like ran through like a bunch of stuff, took a bunch of tags, and then they stole agendas because my ice doesn't end the run. But yeah, I don't know what we can do here. We're just purging. And then we try to like draw for high profile. It's actually not looking that good for us this game. Argus, your favorite corp? Argus was my favorite corp for a long time until Data Raven left us. And then it got bad. But up until then, did you just get 8 creds from a purge? Yeah. Yeah, no, as like I used to play Argus so much. Like I was very comfortable with just like playing like just fundamental strong Argus play, and I just like do it without really having to like think or pay too much attention really. But now the deck it's a lot harder because Funhouse is a worse ice. What happens? They took a tag. Sure. Funhouse is worse. Like we lost. Like I mean, like that's really it, right? And I think Argus didn't really gain anything. Yeah. Cost 5. It's a code gate, and we're probably gonna lose now. We have 6 agendas in the deck, and there are 31 cards. And if they Maker's Eye and see high profile and no agenda, then we might win. Otherwise, we've probably lost. Although at least this way, we cut to the chase, right? Because the Maker's Eye is gonna like they either win now or we have a turn or two. Nah. What are we looking at? Yeah, no, there's nothing coming up. Like the Spin Doctor is the next best card, because otherwise, like Sandstone gets Endless Hungered, Veritas does nothing. Sandstone gets Endless Hungered. Yeah, we had to score one of those other agendas, but even then, like if we didn't find a hostile, we wouldn't have won it anyways. The other high profiles were at the bottom, so like the best it would have been like Spin Doctor, draw 2, shuffle, try to find Spin Doctor, keep drawing. Yeah, like the rest of these cards are not doing us anything because we're just gonna like keep giving them tags, right? Like Mazel's tag, Veritas tag, but it doesn't matter. Apex is underrated. Amaze Argus. Honestly, Aaron, I don't know if like I was just talking about that. Is Amaze even like it doesn't do the job. You tried to play Argus in the Aaron Moran days? I don't think I was I don't think I like knew about the deck during the Aaron Moran days. Or at least I didn't really play Argus at the time. But you sound like... Because I kept playing Prepaid Kate after they started adding influence to all the cards. So I would be like cut the lucky finds and play deuces. And stuff like that. So I tried playing Prepaid Kate when... like with 6 or 8 less influence. So Apex underrated. Apex is like I like yeah, like I mean it was like I think any runner could have done what just happened here. I guess like endless hunger was the difference, and like Heartbeat did save them. Well, I don't know. Heartbeat didn't actually save them that turn because instead of installing Heartbeat, they could have just cleared a tag, and then they would have just lost 4 cards. Instead, they installed a card, and they had to lose 6. So the only reason Heartbeat was relevant was because Heartbeat existed. Like if it didn't exist, they would have still lived, right? So the only thing that Apex did was it supplied endless hunger to break the border control and like my other end run subs. So I guess that's really what Apex did. Otherwise, like it wasn't amazing. But yeah, Aaron, I think like the Amaze it doesn't do it. Because I was just saying, like, when you play Argus, you want to, the number one thing you want to do, well, there's 2 rules to playing Argus, right? The first rule is that as much as possible, you want to install a card in your remote every turn. And then the second rule is you want to make sure you have enough money to trigger the price X that you have installed. That's like the 2 base rules of playing Argus. And in that first rule, like, when you install a card in the remote, if it's an Amaze, you like if they run it, if they go for your bait, quote unquote, and they have to pay 3 to trash the Amaze, but the Amaze doesn't trigger, that's not amazing, right? Whereas if it's a Prisec, that's a lot stronger because they actually have to they actually take a tag and take a me. So I was saying like I would first play 3 copies of Prisec and only then would I put Amaze in the deck. And the other thing is that Amaze is 3 influence. So if you're putting 3 copies of Hard-Hitting News already, that's 6. And then Amaze is like, it comes in bunches of 3 influence, and that makes things awkward if you want to include things like Spin Doctor, like Funhouse. Because like Funhouse isn't great, but the on-counter tag combined with border control is still a good combo. And I think in my mind, like, your Argus, you do want to try to click compress, so you do want border control, and because you have border control, it makes Funhouse still fine. Like, it's not as good as Data Raven, but it's still a justifiable slot in your deck. So then it just like pushes the influence out, right? 3x snatch and grab, and it still got bodied. Snatch and grab. When I started playing Netrunner, when I started trying to win tournaments, my corp was always a kill deck. So I would be playing like Building a Better World. I'd be playing Titan just for the fact that you had 17 influence and not like Atlas Train Titan. So I'd be playing basically Building a Better World kill, except in Titan because I had 17 influence. I'd be playing like Gagarin, like things that just kill things. It would be like Punitive, Sea Source, Scorch, like all the kill stuff. And Snatch and Grab was usually a card in there. First rule, be aggressive. And government takeover. Cody being in chat. Cody was that's like my most memorable kill like memory was I had a time playing against EDOC in person where they the runner had a had a Plastic Carapace installed, and they had 5 cards in hand, and I fed them a government takeover with 3 punitives. So I landed, and I had enough money to trigger all of them, so I landed all 3 punitives for 18 meat damage. And they had a Plascrete on the board, they had 5 cards in hand, and 3 of the cards where I've had worse, so they lived. Took 18 meat damage all in one turn. So then I went on to probably lose that game. I've been out of the scene for a while. Is there a reason to not run those agendas now? Which agendas are you talking about? Like the um like government takeover, or the ones that were just mentioned? Sandbox, Hostel, Oaktown. They're all good agendas. Like Wayland is just not good right now. So that's why you don't see Oaktown. Um like I feel like the like if the tools that PD, or let's put it this way, if Oaktown was an HB agenda, it would see play. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not doing it for Wayland right now. Sandbox sees a lot of play. Sandbox, lots of rumors that it was supposed to be banned, and then they didn't end up banning it, and they chose to ban other things. But yeah, it's an interesting situation where Purge is at right now, because I feel like Nisei have made it so that virus counters are really strong, and they've made it that like the ability to purge virus counters is really strong through Cyberdeck Sandbox, which I personally don't like, because it makes it so that if both people are set up, like if you have a strong virus deck, you beat the people that aren't able to purge well, and if you have a strong virus deck and you're up against somebody who's able to purge well, which means they can purge virus counters and gain $4 to $8 with it, and they might have a Jeeves installed and they gain an extra click, then like usually the virus deck gets slaughtered. And if you can't purge virus counters like that, then you're gonna get slaughtered by the virus deck. And I think that's like a little bit too simple of an interaction for me. I kind of liked it before, where like viruses were a little bit weaker. Purging virus counters meant that you had to spend 3 clicks purging virus counters, and you didn't gain any economic benefits out of it or anything like that. Yeah. Okay. That's largely it for today. As I said, I need to pack and go sleep and wake up for 4 a.m. So I'm gonna have to call a stream there this week. Hopefully there's gonna be some more tournaments rolling around at some point, because I am excited to try to like play in those and stream, and at the same time we'll get a bit more like tournament gameplay on this channel, and also just to see how that goes. I think like that'd be pretty fun if we were actually like prepping decks and also like playing decks that I've prepped for a tournament. Whereas like now we're kind of just like playing decks that, I get an idea for, or something like something janky or something that we want to play because it's going to rotate soon. But it'd be fun to play a tournament sometime. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I will hopefully see y'all soon. On one hand, I wanted to retry playing Netrunner. On the other, I'm rising up in the elite class with the Tiny Whoop racing, and I don't have time for both. Yeah, you released some like drone videos of yourself on Facebook that I sometimes run into. Those are pretty cool. Yeah, they seem super fun. And yeah, that sounds awesome to do. Got to post another one. Yeah, they're cool. They're really really cool to watch. And probably like even better to do, because you're actually like piloting it in first person, which seems pretty crazy. All right, that's all. See you everybody.